So we're into the second episode of this Let's Play series where we're only using road vehicles in our Transport Fever 2 game, where we're going to connect all the towns and industries here. And you can see we're currently in 1851. We might speed up the game speed a bit because we do want to get to some better vehicles later on. So that's going to change a few things of the economics of it, but we do want some better vehicles, because as much as I love the Clippity Cloppity horses, how cute they are really slow and they've only got full capacity. And in this game where we want to connect all the industries and all the towns together, you know, it could be quite dull. I think making $1 billion in this game isn't too hard once you get over the first bit. And in the last episode, you know, we connected up our lines. So if we look at our lines here, we've got our 2 grain lines coming into Chertsey Bakery, and coming over to the other side of the map, we've got our oil lines, which are ferrying oil from this oil well up to the refinery here, and then we're taking it back to this fuel refinery. And then that's taking it into High Wycombe, which High Wycombe will be pleased about that. And they are doing a little bit of growing, which is nice to see, what we like to see. And that will increase what they can take in terms of fuels. So we've made a good start. Finances wise, we're still in our loan. We've still got some money of our loan to play with. But we are making profit. So the last 3 periods, we made a healthy profit. So we've got a good basis to do that, and I think with this being in hard mode, you know, we are going to have some industries that are loss makers in order to connect all of these up and have them all singing around. But so we need at the start, we need to have some industries that are going to make some money for us, so that we can get through those industries, so that we can have those industries that are actually making a loss. So you can see we're making 8,000 here, and let's have a look at this guy, how we're doing for profit on the individuals. You see generally profitable. Every now and then they don't quite make the journey, the profitable journey here, bringing the raw oil. So we need to find some more, and we've got this refinery here. Now this oil well, sorry, not refinery, can take that there, and that would increase the profitability of those that are bringing the crude oil, the refined oil back here, because it takes 2 crude oil to make the 1 refined oil. So we need to think about, if we do that route there, we're going to have an empty route all the way back, but the bonus is we will have a better route. We will have higher loads coming this way, so that might increase our profitability a little bit. But you know, oh, a bit of glitch there. I'm not feeling that as a way to make lots and lots of money. We've got a nice little, a really short trip here where we can make some bricks, and there's no return on that, but it does. It's only a short trip, so I wonder whether we could make some money from that. I think what we might do is we might have a little bit of an experiment with this one. We're in hard mode, but this being such a short trip, we could cut that road off there and potentially start bringing in some stone to this brick factory, which will help us later on, because we're going to need some bricks for Keynsham, and we're going to need it for Stockton-on-Tees. So you can see there's places that are going to need that to grow and connect those industries up. What other options do we have? Oh, we've got an option to make steel here. We've got 2, the iron ore here and the coal here, and we could bring that in to make steel, which would be nice. And then maybe we could take the steel there. And what could we bring back this way if we take the steel somewhere? Is there anything around here that might need that product? Looking around, we need steel over here. We could bring that steel over here, and then the goods, where do they need to go back? Do they need to go anywhere back? They do need to go to Honiton, but the only problem with that, we also need plastics, we need refined oil. So it gets quite convoluted. What about timber? So we've got this timber here. That could be used over here with the tools. Could we bring any of our logs? So we could actually bring logs from here and bring timber back. We need 2 to 1 again, so it's not an ideal, but that potentially could be, we could connect in, make a bit of a transport hub actually in the middle, bring in some of our steel in there that can get transported around. Maybe that's the way to go. Yeah, I think I want to make some steel. I want to make some steel, and I want to bring it here, and then that can help with that return journey when we're bringing the planks this way. But it is quite far. We're going quite far in this map. Let's stick with this. So we've already got the roads. It's going to be low investment here. So we're going to go straight into our cargo buildings. We just want the 1 platform, and we need somewhere that's not going to cost me too much money. It's still white. So 53,000 that side, 52 there. So we'll get our ore from there, and we will get our coal from here. Yeah, that will do. And then at the moment they're just going to drop it, but I am going to put 2 platforms on there, so that we can have 1 platform for each of the inputs. We can add a platform later on. 112,000. 83 there. Oh, we're saving a lot of money going there, aren't we? So we'll just go off to the center. There. And that's all nicely connected. We need a road depot to go alongside this. And we can start to build out these lines now. So we're going to start off pretty small. We got cargo, we just got a horse-drawn cart. We're going to bring 4 for 100,000. Put them on a new line. Pick up from Frodsham and bring to Honiton. So we're going to call this one Frodsham Ore. Let's change the colour to this sort of light orange colour. And we also need some vehicles to go from on a new line. That's going to go from Honiton South to Honiton Central. So this is going to be a Honiton Coil, Honiton Coal, and we've got to colour this sort of black or a grey. Yeah, that makes sense. So we've got our new line, we've got our vehicles going that way. We're going to let that run and see what that does. We've not put too many vehicles on here just yet because I'm not 100% sure how much, if any, profit we are going to make from that trip, because we're only making a full journey on the way back, so we don't want to bankrupt ourselves doing that. But we should start to get some steel there, which later on in the game we can transport large distances across the map. So we need some more of these journeys where we can go back and forth with product. So produce planks here, that makes tools. Tools need to go there. Planks that way. Where the logs come from? Who's the supplies of logs? There's quite a lot around. There's a couple up there. And there's one over there. Now what we'll do is we'll go back over here. We need to get some more money in. I think that's where we need to go, is we need to bring some more money in to our coffers to start making these expensive trips. So we've got a lot of fuel waiting here, 50 fuel waiting on there. How is this vehicle doing in terms of finances? Ooh. So if we have a look at the line, it says it is making profit. It's taking a bit of a convoluted route. I wonder if we put a cutting road across there, it would help High Wycombe grow. That might also reduce the journey time, and it does. So it might make a little bit more profit with that little addition there. We also want to look at bringing this crude oil here all the way up to this refinery, because at the moment we are consuming about 144. This can take 200. So it's not going to upgrade until it's producing more. So we need to give it a lot more, because it consumes 140, produces 70. So we need twice as that. So we need 400 going in there. We can get 400 actually from here. But the problem with that is, although we take 400 there, we then half load it on the way back. So if we take some from here, we could potentially make that more profitable. So let's do a bit of that. Let's try a bit of that. So we'll go to our buildings again. We want a cargo depot. We're just picking up, so we're just going to go with the one platform, save a bit of money. Find a cheap-ish place to drop this building. 52,000 seems reasonable there. We're going to go through here, and then probably it's going to cut that way and go across there, which is good because it should avoid some of the traffic as we get into the depot there. And that's all we need. So we just need now to bring our vehicles from somewhere. We've got a depot down there, but it's annoyingly far away. I should have thought of that maybe a bit better before we did that, but okay, we'll build another one. They're not too expensive if you put them in the right place without too much terraforming. So we'll go, did I see 14, 13? Oh, it's 12,000. Oh, okay. Oh, it's cheap. It's just super cheap. So we're going to go for it with this. We're going to buy a load of these vehicles. We'll go with 10. Because horse-drawn carts, that's a nice thing about them compared to trains. They are very cheap. So you do need a lot of them. So we need to add our station here in our High Wycombe annex. We'll take this up to our High Wycombe halt. And we should call this line High Wycombe Annex Oil. And we'll leave it pink. Why not? We'll leave that pink. And so that's just going to trundle along and start bringing more of those vehicles. We're going to go and get me some oil. Now they're going the wrong way again. We did this last time. Did I send them that way? I might have done. We start turning them around. Go the other way. Oh. Okay. Okay. Get some more. So are we building up oil here? We're not building up oil just yet. Not sure why that is at the moment. Just give that a little bit of time, but then we might have to figure out what this problem is if we're not doing that, because that could be an expensive mistake. Ah, so we are starting to ship. It says we're starting to ship. There's some oil there. Okay, we are a go. No need to worry, panic over. So again, we'll let that run. Our horse-drawn carties doing their business. I think what we might do now is High Wycombe. We might say we can start to build this place up a little bit. Now, there's no towns really that close at all. We've got Market Bosworth down here, which is a long way. And then we've got a little place called Ongar. Not going to generate much passengers. And the distances here are pretty big for horse-drawn carts. So connecting towns together is a good way to get growth. But I just don't really want super long routes in this age, because it could be problematic if they're running empty. So maybe we can just go internally. We start to run people around the town, keep the traffic low. So if we have a look at the land use layer, we can see we've got commercial area over here, industrial here, and some residential here. So if we connect those three areas together with a little bus line, that's a little experiment we can see, is if we can make any money shifting passengers around. So if we put a bus station here in this purely residential area, we'll go here to this, right to the edge of here to the commercial area. We can turn left down there, come back up here and hit this industrial area. We might have a thing. Oh, we got a little problem. Passenger stop cannot be used by cargo vehicles. Okay. Why is it? Why is that a problem? High Wycombe fuel. Have we converted that? Oh, we accidentally converted that. Whoops. Okay, so let's replace that. Oh, what's going on? Okay, so we've done that. We need to go back, put our passenger line just a bit back then. Alright, so we're replacing existing. That's quite annoying that we have to go this far back because I don't want to lose out on any of the industry there. So it's about there. We'll have to go. We'll make our line. So we'll have a new line. It's going to be our High Wycombe loop. We might add another little stop there because we're sort of going that way anyway, but for now we'll just call this our High Wycombe loop. And we're going to stick, I'm going to stick another one in here because we're going that way. It just seems silly not to. So we'll add a little station here. Don't think that's really going to affect the time of the journeys. I think that's what we're doing. And we can go here, we can buy some passengers. So we've got a stagecoach. We're just going to buy 2 for now. I don't know how profitable this is going to be. So we'll send them on the way. It's only going the one direction around. At this point, I'm not worrying around about counterclockwise routes and people sitting on there for too long. Let's see how we get on with the loop in that one direction and see if we can make any profit doing that. So I can see here we've got a refinery and we've got an oil well, so that might be something we could do. We've actually got 2 oil wells pretty close together, but we're in hard mode, so we need to see whether this kind of strategy can work. So if we have a look at where do we do that? Okay, so if we look at a steel line, we've got our 2 lines coming in here. Frodsham, it should be Frodsham. Frodsham Ore's doing well. That's got 6,000 profit coming in, and Honiton Coal, excuse my English, is not making really any money. I don't know if that's because those vehicles are about to come in. We have a look at the finances. See, this one has not yet done anything yet, so we're yet to see whether this is going to make us any money. But we will wait for this to come through, and we see they are coming in now with their full of coal. It's going to do a little loop-de-loop. I'll just speed this up a little bit because it's kind of boring just watching this. But that's a 4,000, so that puts it. Yeah, I think it's gonna. I think it might just make a profit. And if we, as long as we are making profit, we can always scale up the number of vehicles. So yeah, Frodsham Ore's doing okay, and Honiton Coil now is doing okay. So maybe we can push into that. We're going to consume a lot of this stuff. They can produce 400. Our Honiton Coil line is currently 21. So we can manage those vehicles and we can duplicate those. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should give us 20 vehicles on that line. We've got a rate of 100. And we need to match that up with what we're doing on this side. So we go to our Frodsham Ore. Manage those vehicles. We're going to duplicate those. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we will do that. And we need to let that run. We are now starting to run out of money in a kind of big way. In a kind of worrying way. So we do need to start to build up some cash. We can, of course, borrow more. But we need to see where some of our experiments that we've been doing around these lines, which ones are the most profitable and which ones are not, and then we can lean into those. So if we look at our lines now, we rank them by balance. You can see our High Wycombe oil line, that is the one. That is carrying pretty much everything. Chertsey Grain is not making money, number 2, but that's doing a trip that is empty. So you got to take that in conjunction really with Chertsey Grain number 1, which is making money, is making more money. When you combine them, they're still in the green, so that's good to see. High Wycombe Loop is currently losing money. We've got 1 passenger on there, so that's not a good start. We do need to grow High Wycombe. Maybe that's something we should do. High Wycombe Fuel is doing pretty well actually. We could probably increase that, being that I think High Wycombe will take 60, so that's something we could do really easily. Let's have a look at High Wycombe. Oh, we got passengers waiting, which is nice to see. So High Wycombe will take almost 80 fuel. We are producing about 80. So if we start to move that, this will actually upgrade, which would be really good. So I think we should do that. That line, this fuel line is making a profit. So it's currently got a rate of 20. If we duplicate that once, we should get to about 40, about 60. And now 79, which is perfect actually. That's exactly what High Wycombe demands. Oh, now it demands 83, so it is growing, and that's a good thing. We're not going to produce any more because I think we're at the limit of what it's consuming. We're storing a little bit here. Yeah, so we do need to get some more oil to this refinery. So we can keep up with High Wycombe. What else does High Wycombe need? So this could be, I know usually you have your capital right in the middle of the map, but I like the name High Wycombe. It sounds posh. It sounds like a capital city. It's a posh place in the United Kingdom, so you know, why not? We could take it. This oil line 27. See, it's costing us some money. It's costing us some money, but is that having an impact on the profitability of our High Wycombe oil line? So if we look at the oil line and the finances, it's hard to tell because there is some fluctuation, but are we, and we've not really increased our production yet. Everything's been transported, which is good, but we need to get this amount above, ideally it really needs to be above what it was before. We've not really increased that at all. Consumption's 136. That's going to become a bit of a bottleneck here. But we are only transporting 27 at this point. So that's a lot of vehicles, only taking 30 there. They're having to go through the town, which is probably not ideal with the traffic. So I wonder if we create a bit of a bypass. High Wycombe is going to grow pretty quick. We might need to get around High Wycombe for that oil. That's going to cost money. I've only got 117,000. Ooh, it's starting to get the tricky bit. This is the thing that happens at the start of all Tycoon games, is you struggle for money at the start, and then all of a sudden you've got more money than you have ever needed for. And we will get to 1 billion. I'm sure we will. But we need to find some other way to make a little bit of cash without too much effort. So if we look at our lines again, which ones are making money? We've got a lot of lines not making any money. Ooh, the High Wycombe oil line is carrying it. Chertsey Grain number 1 is doing well, and Chertsey Grain number 2 is breaking even. So that's paying for at least those lines. Then we've got about 80,000 worth of chaff down here, which is annoying. The ore lines are not profitable. We need to make some tough decisions here, because that is not how we want to operate. Maybe that was a bit of a folly. I thought they were making money, but maybe it's just a timing thing. Or are they getting stuck in traffic? That might be it. They're both on the same terminal, which is not ideal. So we need them spread out now. Maybe that's just all we need to solve this problem. See, they're queuing up here to drop off And we are getting a bit of a traffic jam. Look at that. Ooh. We'll see if this clears up. Because there's not that many... I mean, they're making a lot of trips, but there's not a high throughput going through here. But there is a lot of traffic already sitting by. We can configure this to add a little bit of a longer platform. Oh, that's going to cost me money. I should give a bit more space for the vehicles to queue up there and offload at the same time. We'll get our throughput up, and hopefully that is all we need at this stage, because we don't want to spend much more on this line. But we do need to invest to make it profitable, because we are struggling. There you go, Frotchmore's making some money. Honiton Coal. I keep wanting to say coil, but we aren't making coils in this game. Yeah. I think we are starting to see them space out and that traffic clear, and I think that will make this line more profitable, which will be good. Okay, so that's not good. So how are we doing? Okay, so there's quite a lot of variation here. Now all of a sudden we're making money on a lot of lines, and it all looks hunky-dory. But if we go over to our High Wycombe oil line, that is where the money is. So I think we do have capacity to increase that. This will consume more. It can produce 100. So it can take 100 of that, and we're consuming 164. We're only transporting 41% of the current one from here, and this is our most profitable line. So I think the sensible thing to do here is to lean into what we've got. So we've got I think I want to get this up to I'm gonna got 50 vehicles on this line. I think I'm gonna go to, where do we go? Manage vehicles. I think I want to. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Duplicate that once. Oh, we're not got enough money. Okay, we're leaning in. We're gonna go for broke here. We need some more money. That's where the bank comes in. And we're going to add in those. We want to get that up to 200. So let's see. Let's get it up to 200 with our current layout. Now we may start to have some problems with traffic here as well. So we want to try and minimize that. Now what we could do here actually, which would be quite a neat solution. The vehicles are coming in this way. Let's have a look at the terminals first of all. So High Wycombe fuel, the fuel is going on line number 1. The oil is being dropped off on line number 2. So there is potential here that if we configure this and we have an exit line here, we could have an exit line here. I'm just going to see if that changes the routing of the fuel line. It does, so they're going to go. They don't do that direction, which annoys me. They're kind of doing a bit of a loop-the-loop, but they don't actually collide when they do that. So they are going to come out that way and then turn right, so they will have no collision coming in there. And then we're going to have a lot of vehicles coming to drop off here. So how about we have a line, so these vehicles, they come in this way and then they go off down this direction. So we could have them coming out here and then down there. And they're not going to interfere though with those coming out. Although, are those coming out actually, they don't seem to mind. Oh, they do stop. So let's have a look if we can't make this better with a little exit line going that way. So they come in there. I wonder if I put it at the top, will they go out through that top route? So we can bring this out to here, and we shall see if that changes their direction. So they're not actually using that at the moment, which is a shame. If we configure it and add a bit more of a platform, will they do that? Let's see. Okay, so they're still going to go out that direction, which is annoying. Surely that way's faster. You could turn right there and off you go. Maybe if we move it down like we did with the other one. And we do our street access going out. We did it this way. Is that going to give us what we need? We're still using that direction. So if we configure it again and stop them coming in. I tell you what we'll do. We will do this properly. So we're going to pause the game. We are going to delete this. I have got enough money to do it. We'll get that clear. So I think what we saw, and I saw a great video by a guy called Grounded Gamer who showed me, not me specifically, we'll have the platforms, we'll have them a bit longer. If you do it like that, then you have all these kind of problems. But if you rotate your road like so, horizontal to it, we can actually create a much better flow. So what we can then do is configure this here. We can put our entranceway in. We put our exit way out. And then hopefully we will get the desired result. So if we have a look at our roads as well, we bring that out here. We could just do a nice little cut all the way across. It doesn't like that. Does it like that? Doesn't really join up. We do that one first, and then we go from there to there. Does it like that? It does. And then from here, we might just do straight out there. Cut that across. And there we go. So if we look now, interestingly, so it does that, comes on there and then comes around in a loop. And then this one, it's on the same terminal. Okay, so let's move it to terminal 2. And we look at that. That's beautiful. Look at that. That is perfect. That one's not so much, and that's our important line. So I'm going to swap those terminals around. So you can go in terminal 1. You can go in terminal 2. And you can have the beautiful, look at that. As they go through. And we can get playing again. So that seemed like a lot of effort to do that, but it looks a lot nicer, I think, with the flow through there. And hopefully that means we'll get a little bit less traffic coming through there, which is our most, at the moment, this is our most economically important part of our business right now. So how are we looking with our passenger line? So yeah, this one's full of passengers, and finances wise, they're just starting to make some money. Don't think they've repaid what I've spent on them yet. How are we looking up here in terms of picking up? And we've got, everything's on terminal 4, so we should sort that out. Let's move our oil line to line 1. Oh, that's the furthest one away. So we'll go. You go to 4. You go to 1. We might put another access in here actually. Deconflict these. It's not going to let me. Could put it on the end, but it's going to cost me a lot of money. So we'll just leave that for now. High Wycombe oil. Can use any of the other 3. So hopefully that's avoiding some of the traffic as that comes in, and then the annex is dropping off on number 4. So that's looking good. We might speed this up a little bit because we are still only in 8:53. I think we'll have to start playing faster because money's coming in slow. We are making profit, and the road to 1 billion is going to be a gazillion years long if we carry on at this rate and this speed. So we are making money. Over the last 10 years, there's a lot of... I wish you could take out your investments of this chart and see what your operating profit would be. I think that would be nice. Balance is on the way down. This is not a... I haven't built my headquarters. Ooh, I need to build it. It's going to go in High Wycombe, obviously, now, because this is my new capital. And I want to build it centrally. Oh, there's a little spot I could squeeze it there. Oh, 200,000 to remove that. I don't really want to spend money on this. It's needless money to spend, but I could put the headquarters. If you hold shift and press M. M and N are the hotkeys to rotate. But if you hold shift, you can do small movements as well. And I'm going to build my headquarters there. So that was good. Where were we? Right, okay. So we're looking at finances. Finances are starting to look healthy. Look at that. We're making profit. Okay. Balance is going up. Our headquarters is a level 1. Good. We have 300,000 in the bank. Good. What can we do now? So we need to start marching this along. Really, because horse-drawn carts are super slow. Now, Market Bonds is interesting. That needs some bricks. And there's a quarry there. Ooh. Now, this is an interesting one. So we could bring stone here, bricks there, bricks back to there, and there. I don't know if that really cuts much off. Is that shorter than that? It might be worth it just to grow Market Bosworth anyway, and I think we can afford to do that at this point. We are making money. Our earnings are going up, so we're going to look to do... Oh, Chertsey now demands fuel. Our towns are growing. Okay, so we're going to have a look at this road here. So... we're going to have buildings. We're going to do a cargo drop-off. Need to make sure we pick up the industrial parts. I'd like to do it here so we don't have to go to the end of the road and back. So we're coming from there. So around here would be nice. We pick up this industrial area here, but then we can also turn right to our next destination. That's going to make things slightly faster. Then what I want to do is I want to connect this up with a road here to make this more efficient. So we're going to go stick with that country road. Cheap and cheerful, but actually quite fast. And we'll bring it out here. And we'll probably go somewhere like that. I don't want to curve that way though. I want to curve sort of into the road. Like so. And then we'll connect these two up with a nice straight road. So that's good. That's a nice country road to travel down. So we can look for our platforms now. Just a little one to collect some stone at. Nice and cheap, please. Nice and cheap, I said. Or 52. And we're going to bring that up here and we're going to drop off and pick up. So we're going to have a platform on either side. We don't want to spend too much money again. 76,000. Oh, it's expensive in this neck of the woods. Cutting down the trees might be an option. 76. Oh, we're going to have to cut down some trees. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Greenpeace, but we're going to have to cut down some trees. So we've got those. We've got stations in and we need our road depot now. So we'll do that. And I don't know why I put it there. Should really be buying this stone. Never mind. Right, okay. So we'll go with this. I'm going to take a small punt. I'll start with 10 vehicles. I'm not going to go crazy. We'll hit that up with a new line. So we're going to go there, collect some stone, take it here, take it into Market Bosworth, and back down you go. So a nice little triangle there. We'll see if that's enough of an efficient route to do what we need and make some good money, because that is what this challenge is about. So got the construction material. Maybe I should just call it bricks. Yeah, we'll just call it bricks. That's what the logo is. We'll even change the color. Let's go for a nice brick red. I like that. Okay, so we'll leave that running. Now, of course, they're all going to the wrong one, but at this point, I am just going to let it happen. Because someone's going to have to explain to me in the comments why that keeps happening. What am I doing wrong? Let me know. What am I doing wrong? Any more good opportunities? We've got lots of forestry going on around here. And we do have some good planks there, and planks needed here. So wood could go that way, planks could come back that way. That's not a bad shout. Oh, but we need some more money. It's going to need a loan. I think the terrain might be a bit of an issue. Getting through there, we might have to wind a little bit. But I think it'd be worth it, because I think this nice little route there, connect that in, wind through there to take those planks. And we can also bring some of these logs in here to increase, because it's two logs to a plank. But it is one plank to a tool. And then we've got a nice tool little setup going. So I think that's going to be, again, that's going to be a worthwhile route to go with. So we're going to need to borrow some money. And we are going to need some new roads. So let's build this line here again. Don't want to spend too much money just to make this more efficient, but 63,000 seems about right. And then we're going to go through here, and I'm going to build this first before I... So the terrain's interesting. Let's look at the contour map. I don't actually want to drop down here too much. We're going to go sort of across here. As best we can. What are we looking? Most... Oh, okay, that's nice and cheap there. Look, where was that? Keep it nice and flat and cheap by going that way. We can kind of cut through this wooded area. For 30,000, a bit of a curve, and I feel like we need to S-bend out this way. So, what are we looking at? If I just S-bend it the whole way, I can go right up to there. For 107,000, I can connect those in. So that's my roads connected. I now just need my cargo buildings. So the one platform to pick up here. We need to pick up and drop off here. I don't need the contour map actually. That's a bit clearer now. 76,000. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to drop here. But we are... How much money have we got? I might just drop off here for now. Because I can't really... I don't want to spend all my money building that platform and not enough for all the vehicles I want. All the many vehicles. So it was pretty flat around here. So it should be pretty cheap to build the depot. We can buy the cargo vehicles. We'll go with 10. Put them on a new line. So you're going to go pick up here. Oh, I keep forgetting to do full load. Full load, come on. Okay. So we're going to go there. We're going to go to Upper Berkhamsted. And we're going to come back down to Highfield Road. Drop off those planks. And then there will be some tools which we might be able to take onwards somewhere else. As High Wycombe, I think, now requires tools or goods. Did it just come up and say? So they're going good. They're going good. So that is working. We've got up to 400 going that way. We've got a rate on this line. What have we got? We haven't named it. This is our Berk. It's our Berkhamsted. It's a difficult word to spell because it does not sound like what it should sound like. Berkhamsted. Wood feels immature. I'm gonna call it timber. Okay, so we're only doing 21 at the minute. Let's see how profitable that is. I feel like it should be because we're taking this timber a long way out here, and then we're bringing those planks back. And I think if we do bring some logs through Berkhamsted there, and we've already got the road, That could be quite good as well, because then we're going to have a full load coming back along there. So I think that is definitely a worthwhile journey. I am going to cut this road a little bit across here, because I think Berkhamsted will grow and it will start to become problematic. So if I put that road in first, we won't have that problem. So 157,000, it's going to be tight doing this actually. Might just invest in more vehicles doing this route. So they're tooting along past the old factory. I do want to see what happens when they get to here. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. We're still only in 1854. We've got loads of time. Let's just speed this little journey up. It's going to help us bring in some money. Off you toodle. So finances are looking strong at the moment. Earnings 189,000. We made almost $500,000 last year, which is good. Or was that just our loan coming in? Loan interest was bad. Okay. Oh no, we didn't make $500,000. Our income from road was there, but we're well covering our loan interest, so that's good. We're a healthy business, so I think I would invest in this business. Would you invest in this business? Business is business. This is a good business. So they're coming along. Whee! So we're getting there. Let's see how much it's for. So it's cost us more than 3,000 to get to this point. Let's see what we do when they come down this road. So they're coming down now. Round they come. In you go. How much money are you giving me? 8,000. 8,000. How does that look? So that's significantly more than the travel time. Now, they didn't take any back, but there's none produced there. They're off to do the other one. This one's got 3. They will average to take 2. But I've got a good feeling about this line. I think this line is going to be profitable, so I think we should invest more in it. High Wycombe is still bringing in the money. Investing in there was a good idea, if I do say so myself. So we can manage these vehicles here. We made 10. We've got a rate of 22. We could easily... How much can I afford? Okay. We've got 30 vehicles. That's as much as I can afford without taking another loan. We've got 66 doing that. We need to let that all spread out naturally and see where we go. I think we are looking good. I'm not really going to invest in any passenger lines. Oh, Chertsey's looking quite healthy, actually. Chertsey's looking quite big. Oh, is Chertsey the biggest town? Which is the biggest town? Let's have a look at towns. High Wycombe is the biggest town. Chertsey is one behind it, just the one. But it does have those transport links. So public transport is having a factor, and High Wycombe's growth. Is it? It is 20% growth. So maybe we should do the same in Chertsey as we did in High Wycombe. Is that loop line profitable there? That is another very good question. So if we look down here, the High Wycombe annex, and we can choose road. Of course, we're only using road. But if we look here, we've got 8 passengers on there, and we are making a small profit. So that is having a big impact on High Wycombe's growth for very little investment from us. I can afford it. If I have a look at these land use layers here, so we've got a nice residential area here with a loop. We could put a bus station in here. Like so. So we're going that way. We've got a commercial area just here, so we can connect that in. Oh, I've done it again. I have only gone and done it again, haven't I? Right, so we can't put the passenger station there. What we're going to do is we're going to put that one there. Put another stop here. Connect that residential area in. We'll have one there. We'll have one here and one there. And one there. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that one there. And I'm going to construct this line. So do we have any... Oh, what's that? Oh, it's the station name. Okay. So we can buy some... I feel a bit more confident about these stagecoach lines. It's a big town. It's Old Chertsey. So we can put some more to it, I think. So we'll go through here. Just a nice, simple loop like that. We'll call this the Chertsey loop, because that is what it is. Chertsey loop, off you go. Now we could also do that with High Wycombe, because I'm guessing that we are... Where's High Wycombe? I'm guessing that we have... So there's a bit of... There are people waiting. There are 11 there. 69 there. Oh my goodness. And 18 there. So there's definitely capacity more for more vehicles on here. And it is a growing town, so we could duplicate that. And see how we go. Okay, so this is starting to look good. We are starting to look healthy. You know, hard mode is really is just makes you question what you're doing. You can't go around linking up every single industry willy-nilly. As we say in the UK, you've really got to think about your routes, because once you get past medium, you can't have too many empty routes, because they will start to cost you money. That being said, we don't have that many lines that aren't making money. Even Chertsey Grain number 2 is making 57,000. So if we have a look at the finances for that, it is making profit. So, you know, it's not too bad in hard mode. Road vehicles are a lot easier anyway. They are a lot cheaper to run. Trains you have to be extremely careful with. But the big problem with roads is just trying to get up to capacity and the traffic problems you have. You see this line here, we've got roads all over it. Our Berkhamsted timber is only got a rate of 68. So it's just nothing. Absolutely nothing. So Berkhamsted timber is a profitable line now. So that is good to know. How much do we get for the tools when they come back to here? They get about 3,000, near enough. So that pays for a good part of the transport cost, but you really make the money when you do the long trip. Because there's a lot of time here which is empty, but these can't be avoided. So what should we do now? So I think we can now, we've got 700,000 in here. I can even repay some of the loan log. I have now, and I've got some of the money to bring in some more, and this is going to make this line more profitable. It can definitely take it. I'm not worrying as much about the money. We got out of that little spell. We just have the one platform here. Around there we'll do 53,000. We can bring that to here, drop it off, and unfortunately we just have to bring it back at this point. Yeah, we're not taking any tools yet to Berkhamsted. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna, that tiny little bit, I don't think it's gonna make a difference. If we were thinking about potentially having that bit with tools on, it's just gonna get complicated, and I don't think it's gonna help. So we're just gonna go for that. Depot's down there, so we might need one up here. Hopefully we can get a nice cheap depot somewhere where it's flat around here. We'll go there. And we will set up this new line. So I'm going to start with passenger, cargo. Go with 10. I'm quite confident I've got the money. Oh, I didn't even check. Okay, I've got the money. We'll bring that here, and you'll take that to here. You'll upset the residents of Berkhamsted with your logs chuntering through there. So I do want to set the south one, because I keep forgetting, to full load. We don't want to be moving without anything on there. And they're going in the right direction. Hey! So that is nice. Things you like to see. Okay, so we can bring those tools in here. We're not at capacity for the tools. The rate on this line is 22, so that's not going to overload this factory anywhere near soon. We could take 400 in here, so we're absolutely nowhere near. However, do we still have a lot of logs waiting here? We've got loads of logs waiting here. Our rate is only there, and we're making money on this line, so I think we can really invest with 30 vehicles. Do I just double it? How much is that going to cost? Can I afford that? Let's try. I don't have the money. No. Okay. So, do I have enough money for... Is it control? I have enough money for 10 vehicles. 20 vehicles. No. 20 vehicles. There we go. Okay. So I've got a rate to 113. It will take it. This is a profitable line. I think this is going to... This line is going to start to make some good money. Especially when we're bringing back full loads from Berkhamsted South. With these little guys chuntering along. Oh, we're not playing. Oh, we're not playing, or they just stopped. Oh, they are. They are. They are. They are. Are you just waiting? Oh, taking a little while for these logs to get going. But we can leave them to it. Okay, so I think that's enough for this episode. In the next episode, I think we're going to keep connecting, keep making some money. We're going to maybe speed up the game to get some new vehicles in, because the horse-drawn carts are pretty slow and they can start clunking things up. But we're definitely going to start looking at building up these towns in preparation to bring them all the lovely goods and services we bring. Look at Chertsey for passengers. Absolutely loves it. That is good. Is Chertsey Loop? Chertsey Loop might be our first one that will have to go backwards. It's making money as well. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. But yeah, so these are some of the things we'll be doing next episode. We'll be improving our passenger connections in all the towns, I think. Start building them up. And we'll start bringing in some goods over long distances once we've got better vehicles. So we might need to speed up the game speed down here a little bit so we can get some better vehicles. But apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.